All right, YouTube, this is Ryan's Journey coming at you kind of later in the evening. I think it's about 10, but getting close to my bedtime, that's for sure. Um, we are at week 23 post-op vertical sleeve gastrectomy. It's been quite a journey. It's crazy to think about. And, sometimes I get posts on Facebook kind of when people finally realize how far out I am of surgery. They're kind of surprised that I'm only, what is it, 5.5 months, I think, since my vertical sleeve gastrectomy, which isn't very long ago, and so it's hard to believe that, how fast I progressed along this journey for sure. But truly happy with way the surgery's been and way my weight loss has been, and uh, so I'm going to talk about a few things today. I'm going to talk about numbers, of course. I'm going to talk about getting back to the gym. So I had a little hiatus from the gym. At least that's how the manager of the gym told me when I went yesterday yesterday. Um, and then I'm going to talk a little bit. I'm going to talk about some foods that I don't really eat anymore. And mainly just because after, like, pre-op and then just after surgery, there were certain things you had to eat and I just can't eat them anymore. And I'm going to talk a little bit about them because I've kind of tried to incorporate them a little more recently, and I just can't. So that's kind of an interesting thing. And then I'm going to talk about NSV. Went to a work meeting, and that kind of turned into a pretty good NSV, and it's been a good stuff going that way. So anyway, so today is Wednesday night. Actually, I do my updates on Tuesday usually, but didn't find time yesterday. And but my weekly weigh-in is always on Tuesday in the morning, so that's what my numbers are going to go off of. So I started this journey back on November 18th, 2013, the first time I met my surgeon. That day I was 326 pounds. My surgery weight on February 24th, 2014 was 294. My last week's weigh-in was 210.4. This week's weigh-in as of yesterday morning was 209.8. So that is a weekly loss of 0.6 pounds, total loss of 116.2, and since surgery I've lost 84.2 pounds. So crazy cool losses. I'll take them. I'm ecstatic with that, um, for sure. Now back to the gym. So there was about probably a month and a half I didn't go to the gym. I still exercise, but I exercise, here in my garage. I got some weights. I got some, exercise bands. I do some stuff with, and I did a little push-ups. I'm trying to do a little push-ups and a little bit of sit-ups, but and then walking. You've seen me. I posted videos of me walking to the beach in the mornings instead of going to the gym. So I've incorporated other things, and I just kind of, it's nice. It's been nice lately with the weather in the summer. So I've been kind of wanting to get away from the gym. I was kind of wanting to change it up. But the main thing that drove it is I go 2 week or 2 month pay up front, 2 month, what do they call them? It's like a two month plus at my gym. And, and you pay a few bucks more that way, but you don't pay an enrollment fee. And the thing I like is that after those 2 months, I go there. They'll say, "Oh, your thing ended last week or yesterday," and they'll just let me go there as a guest once or twice until I pay up again, and then I can figure out if I want to try to incorporate something else or something like that. So that's kind of nice. I actually like that, where it's not just automatically taken out of my account every month. And but what happened is the main thing I do at my gym is the swimming, is a pool. I mean, like, I do other stuff. I go there. My routine is always do weights first, then I do elliptical for a mile or two, and then I do swimming for, I don't know, 40 minutes or so, and then I do a steam room and then a hot tub just for a few minutes towards the end. And well, basically the swimming though is the main piece of why I go to that gym. There's cheaper gyms, but that gym has a nice pool. But what happened is there was all these people, especially women, that I never see at the gym, but all of a sudden it was the last, like, trying to get their summer bodies in before beach time and bathing suits and all that. So they were flooding the pool in. There was double people on the laps of the pool. And it was, in a way I was kind of pissed off, like, hey, I've been busting my ass here at the gym for 4 months, and you're going to come for 2 weeks right at the summertime and make the gym crowded. So in a way it's funny, but so that was about the time that my membership, my 2 months ended. So I was kind of like, let me take a break and let me try to see if I can incorporate other types of exercise, and I did, and it was cool. And also part of it was my son was recovering from a foot, both his feet had surgery on them. So all that put into one is kind of where I was at. Don't like to just leave the wife at home with him, and he had special needs and couldn't walk, and now he's walking. For those of you who follow me and my son's journey, he's walking pretty good. He's still got some braces on. He's got a doctor's appointment in a couple weeks. These braces are just little small plastic things, hard, barely there kind of thing compared to the big cast and everything. So, but he's walking. He's going back to preschool, so he's doing good. Still a little hobbly sometimes, especially when he gets tired or sore, but doing good. So thank you for all your wishes and positive thoughts that way for him. Um, so things like food items that I don't really eat anymore. And I didn't make a list. I'm just going off the top of my head here because they're all pretty much right there in my head because they were something I ate so much pre-op, post-op, right after pre-op. Um, so, for example, so soups I still eat. Like for example, tonight I had a few ounces of chili soup. I've mentioned it before. It's a Southwest chicken soup. It has some hominy, some cilantro, but mostly just that kind of. It's a little clearer than like a tortilla soup, like enchilada soup. But I don't do broths anymore. I won't. I can't even look at a broth. I can't any kind of just real clear, thin, nothing to it soup. I don't do. Another thing that's kind of funny is I really have a hard time eating yogurt now, and I get yogurt at the stores and I still eat them on occasion, but I really feel like I'm pushing myself to. I think I'm gonna have to do like Kirk does and put granola in them. I even had like a bite of a granola bar and some of that, but that's pretty tough just because I think I ate so much yogurt pre-op and early post-op that I can't do the Greek yogurts as much. I still a little bit, but it's kind of like I can eat a half of a Greek yogurt and I won't even save it because, so that's kind of one. One thing I do eat in the mornings though, since I used to eat yogurt in the morning, is I do oatmeal. I do like instant oatmeal and just mostly water with it. And sometimes I splash a little milk in at the end, just kind of cool it down and give it a little creaminess. But so I do a little like a berry yogurt or a berry oatmeal kind of mix. But I can't do. I had all these sugar-free Jellos after my surgery, and they were in my refrigerator for months. And it's just like I didn't want to throw them away for some dumb reason, but I just couldn't. I couldn't. I couldn't eat them. I opened one up, and the smell of it, I just cannot do sugar-free Jello or any Jello for that matter. Another thing I can't do that I did a ton of is Crystal Light. I cannot do Crystal Light. Maybe a little bit, but it's basically I haven't drank Crystal Light in a couple months. I just can't. I'd rather just drink regular water by itself. One thing I drink a little more is iced tea. I do drink iced tea, and I use stevia for a little sweetener. I don't like my iced tea really sweet, but I use a little stevia. So I do iced tea. Like I used to do sugar-free pudding. I don't really do the puddings anymore. Though it doesn't sound that bad thinking of it, but I just haven't bought it. I don't do the protein powders. I still do protein shakes, the Premier ones. Maybe once every few days, or especially on days where I feel like I'm not getting enough protein, I'll have one. My body kind of can tell me when I'm not having as much protein, but my diet's mainly focused on proteins, and that's chicken, fish, even beef, or nuts. So I usually can get protein in, but I do keep those. But I don't. I've got powder. I got an unflavored one. I have a chocolate one. They're in the cupboard. I can't do them. I just can't do the powders. Tonight I thought about making a protein shake with a sugar-free chocolate syrup, ice, a little milk, and one of those. In the end I couldn't do it. I got up to do it, and I said, I just can't mix that powder. So couldn't do that. But yeah, just some foods that let me see if I can think of any other ones. Oh, and one other one that I couldn't do, and now I can do a little bit of it, but just not out of a can, like maybe from a Mexican restaurant, is refried beans. Refried beans is something I really tried to eat a little bit of. Like I kind of watered it down or used the enchilada sauce and kind of mixed it in to kind of make it more liquid after surgery. That was something that was like real food I'm eating about a week out, and I just really couldn't eat refried beans for a while. Now I ate it the other day, and it was actually not bad. Um, but yeah, refried beans is something I don't do. It's not. It's coming around, but that one was like, no, I'm not gonna have any refried beans. So anyway, that's foods. All right, gonna talk a little bit about an NSV I had yesterday. Well, kind of last couple of days. So um, right before I had my surgery, I had a promotion um, where I became a licensed banker, meaning I have some investment licenses, um, a few of them, and I'm kind of on track to become, you know, private banker, investment advisor. So that's kind of the path I'm on. And so I was invited to a meeting that happened last night, 3 to 6. It was on my day off, but um, of all the investment advisors and any of the supporting people and managers along those lines for my company. And it was a big meeting. It was over here in a resort. The meeting was here, and then right outside the glass doors was an outside patio overlooking the ocean. I mean, it's pretty high-end stuff, and it was really neat. But I got to meet a lot of people, and I got to put my name in a group where eventually I might get some opportunities for promotions that way. So it was interesting that they invited me, and um, I'm kind of low level for that type of group. And so my advisors that I work with said it would be a great idea if I got there because to get my name out there and to help with my progression in my career. And so it's something that I definitely decided I would do, and I was directly invited, and it was great. It was great. It was really cool. Um, the day before, my district manager came to my branch and pulled me aside and said that he's going to promote me, which is the next middle level between private banker and that, but it's basically more of a senior banker, um, licensed senior banker, and just basically said next week, are you ready to do it? You don't mind doing it in the middle of the quarter? I'll have it ready to go next week. Um, I was like, yeah, absolutely, I'm ready for the challenge. So that's really cool. And the reason why I bring this up is that I I can't help but think my weight loss and how I really took on this challenge and have done well, and not only the having look better, I wear a suit to work, but also carry myself better. And my production has been a lot better at my job. And my job is a very production-based business. And that those things have all helped me to get this promotion and to move up in my career. And it's too bad that some of this is superficial, but I got to admit, I think it is. I think that image is important. And at this meeting I went to, there was a lot of people that are successful that, part of them being successful is about how they carry themselves and how they present themselves and how, how they take on life. And so this meeting followed up knowing that I had to have a promotion, coming up here that next week if everything goes right, I guess, if somebody, if my district manager holds his word. But the interesting thing is also in NSV is after the meeting, we had a little happy hour afterward, and they had beer and wine and some appetizers out there. And the girl serving the beer and wine appetizers at this resort is a customer of mine, which is interesting. And I'd seen her a couple times in surgery, but I haven't really had a chance to talk to her at all. Um, so we're there, and I'm having some wine, and she asked me, she said, and this is in front of a lot of these guys that overheard, and she says, "Hey, Ryan, you've lost a lot of weight, right?" And so I kind of told her a story about how, yeah, I've changed my life. I changed the way I eat, the way I exercise, and she was like, "Wow, you've done really well," and blah blah blah. And so we just had a little conversation, and I tried to keep it low key because I really don't want everybody to know my business, and a lot of these people I didn't know and don't know me like that. Only a few people know as far as how I lost the weight, and I mean as far as the surgery, but a lot of the people were overheard this and kind of approached me later like, "Wow, you've lost over 100 pounds. That's crazy. Like, what are you doing?" And so I don't really go into the surgery thing. That's something that I just, at this point, unless I really need to, or unless somebody I really know really well, I just leave that part out, and people can assume what they want. I mean, but it's just I don't need that kind of conversation. The reactions people have when you tell them isn't always good, so I just leave it out. And if people really are curious or they really have the intuition that I had a surgery or had somebody else they knew, I don't mind telling the story. I'm not embarrassed or ashamed or afraid of telling the story. It's just I save it for people that aren't educated on it and aren't really, I feel like, prepared to talk about it. But it's really cool. These guys were like, wow, it's impressive, blah blah blah. So a couple NSVs there. One, my potential promotion that's coming up, and the way I look, feel, and able to do better at my job. And maybe the superficial part of somebody saying, hey, you look better, you're more likely to move up in your career, and I'm not going to say how much that plays into it, but it feels like it has a little bit. And then the NSV at the meeting, but just being there in general and having that opportunity to meet all these people that are successful and are good at what they do. It all kind of work together and interchange, and some of these people I have to work with indirectly anyway, so it's good to know who they are, and some are from out of town that have to come up and help. So, and then with the girl that works there, was really kind, had some kind words for me, and someone that definitely a customer that I really respected. So that's really it. That's all I got on the NSV front, and I got a little deep about my job on this. I don't really talk about where I work very much, so I may or may not post that part. We'll see. But last thing, ready for the trip. So today is Wednesday. I'm heading up to Obesity Help Conference in Los Angeles. I'm leaving super early Friday morning, probably 5 or 6 in the morning. Going to get there. It takes me a few hours to drive there where we're going, and I'm excited. I'm going to get my stuff packed tomorrow. I'm going to pick up a few things I need from the store, and look forward to meeting some of you people out there. So cheers. We'll talk to you soon. Thanks. Bye.